My name is Janis Mohr-Tipton, and I'm retired from working at the Jackson County Library System, and I'm now a community volunteer and out in the Applegate Valley. Reading is really important because I volunteer at Cantrell Buckley Park, which is an 88-acre park out in the Applegate Valley, and we do outdoor education, and we use a lot of study and work in the park together. So books are really important, and I'm talking to kids about books all the time for restoration and care of the land and just enjoyment of the land. As a volunteer in the park doing the education, I help coordinate and invite schools to come to the park and organize the schedule for them. And then we have them there, and we have teachers, instructors, and myself who do the instruction as well. So it's a very wonderful program, and I do that through a nonprofit called Applegate Partnership and Watershed Council. It means caring for my community, and it means helping build my community and sustain my community. I'm going to first read to you one of my favorite books, Stories from the Bug Garden by Lisa Moser. This story takes place in this garden right here. The garden was old and forgotten, with a tumble-down wall and one-wheeled barrow, which is a wheelbarrow. No one came down the weedy path to take care of it or sit among the flowers. So they moved in, one by one by one. Ladybug. Ladybug never liked her name. A lady had to sip tea, fold her napkin, and sit very tall. But when no one was looking, Ladybug ran barefoot and made mud angels and whistled through a blade of grass. You can see the blade of grass. This is a story about horsefly and butterfly. "Where are you going?" said Butterfly. "I'm running," said Horsefly. Can you see him down here? "See the wind ripple my mane, see my mighty hooves flash, see my tail streaming behind." "No," said Butterfly, "I don't see those things." "Look again," said Horsefly, as he ran around the garden. Butterfly watched closely. "You know, you're not a horse. You're a horsefly, a teeny tiny bug." Horsefly stopped running. He looked at Butterfly and he sniffed. "Well, you're not butter either." Then he ran some more. Dragonfly now. "Halt! Don't go any further." Everyone went another way, except Horsefly. "Go no further," said Dragonfly. "What will you do?" said Horsefly. "Will you breathe fire?" "I don't do that," said Dragonfly. "Will you scratch me with your dragon claws?" "Of course not," said Dragonfly. "Then stand back," said Horsefly. Smack! Right into a gob of tree sap. "I told you to go no further," said Dragonfly. "I should have listened," said Horsefly. Just bee. Here we have bee. Excuse me, here we have horsefly, and here we have bee, and dragonfly, and firefly, actually. Bee sat on a lilac branch and watched the clouds. Have you ever laid down and looked at the clouds? Well, that's what bee was doing. Shouldn't you fly around, said dragonfly. Shouldn't you sip nectar from the flowers, said lightning bug. Shouldn't you make honey, said horsefly. Oh, I don't want to do any of those things, said bee. What do you want to do then? Bee settled back to watch the clouds. Just bee, said bee. Oh, now we have roly-poly. And you may be familiar with roly-poly. They're little bugs that curl up when you try to pick them up. Well, butterfly watched. Roly-poly curled up into a ball and started rolling and rolling and rolling. Wahoo, said roly-poly. He rolled past the peach trees. Wahoo! He rolled out the gate. Wahoo! He rolled down the path. Wahoo! Then he unrolled himself and he started to walk back. It's a long walk, said Butterfly. Yes, it is, huffed Roly-Poly. It'll take hours and hours, said Butterfly. Maybe even longer, puffed Roly-Poly. You'll be tired when you get there, said Butterfly. Very, very, very tired, said Roly-Poly. Well, what will you do when you get back, said Butterfly. Roly-Poly looked at him and he just grinned. I'm going to do it all over again. So here we have big ant and little ant and some of the other bugs, and we have snail in this picture. Big ant and little ant. One hot summer day, the bugs had barely finished their picnic when Roly-Poly called, "Hurry, hurry, it's about to start." Big ant and little ant followed everyone and picked a spot. Look up, said Big Ant. The big show will be up there. She's pointing for him. What will I see, said Little Ant. You'll see all sorts of colors. Red, pink, blue, yellow, orange, said Big Ant. They'll come in every shape and every size, too. Little Ant snuggled closer to Big Ant. Pop! Ooh! Cheered the bugs. Boom! Ah! Cheered the bugs. Little Ant and Big Ant watched the colors dance and swirl all above. That was the most beautiful thing I ever saw, said Little Ant. Yes, agreed Big Ant. That's always a spectacular show when the flowers bloom. I hope you love the blooming flowers too. Here we have Cricket. And in this garden, there is a rusty gate. And you see the gate here. Cricket. A strong wind frisked and frolicked among the flowers. Cricket hurried and hopped up onto the gate. Whoosh! The gate creaked from its resting place and swung forward. Farewell, farewell, I am leaving on a grand adventure. I don't know if I'll ever see you again, called Cricket. Whoosh! The gate swung back. Oh, I was wrong. I am back. I will never leave again. Whoosh! The gate swung open. Oh, I'm off to a marvelous deeds. Whoosh! The gate swung back. Oh, my mistake. So sorry. Whoosh! The gate swung forward. Goodbye, dear friends. I'm the greatest cricket explorer in the world. Bee turned to Snail. There's Bee and there's Snail. How long will this go on? Not much longer, said Snail. Does everyone remember their jobs? I'll latch the gate, said Ladybug. I'll wave and cheer, said Roly-Poly. And I'll get the sign, said Little Ant, and it says, welcome home. And the gate clanged shut, and Cricket is home. The garden again. The garden was old, with a tumble-down wall and a one-wheeled barrow, but it wasn't forgotten anymore because they all called it home. Thank you. That's a great story. I hope you want to check this out. Our library has this book. So now I want to do a little finger play with you in the garden. So we've first got a bee, and get your fingers up there, and you can do this with me. The bees in the garden go buzz, 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 buzz. The bees in the garden go buzz, 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 all day long. Now we've got spiders. So make your hand like little spiders and you can put them on your knees. The spiders in the garden go step, 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 step. The spiders in the garden go step, 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 all day long. And now last we have a butterfly. The butterflies in the garden go flutter, 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 flutter. The butterflies in the garden go flutter, 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 all day long. I want to read to you one more little book. This is called Swatch by Julia Denos. And this is the girl who loved color. In a place where colors run wild, there lived a girl who was wilder still. Her name was Swatch. She was a color tamer. She was small, but she was not afraid. She could run with the wildest shades and train them to dance and do magic with their color. With a little patience, she learned to hunt for the rare ones. The bravest green shot up the first week of March. In between, gray lived in her kitten's leg. Rumble, tumble, pink rolled through the sky in the heels of an ongoing thunderstorm. When she called them by name, they would come to her because Swatch loved color and color loved Swatch back. Swatch had never thought of capturing a color until the day she lured just laid blue into a jar, straight from its nest. Stay, said Swatch, and the color stayed. So she caught one more, and then another, and another. Soon Swatch's room was full to bursting. The colors circled, restless in their jars. They were magnificent, that there was still one color left to catch. Morning came, and there it was, fast fading and fierce, the king of all yellows, blooming in a sidewalk crack, in spite of the shadows. Swatch was ready. At last, yellowest yellow would be hers. Suddenly, she heard a small sound. Yellow, said yellowest yellow. What are you doing? Swatch had never asked if a color wanted taming. Yellowest yellow, she said politely, would you like to climb into this jar? You could sit on a shelf right next to blue. You could make green together all day long if you wanted. I'll poke holes in the top and I'll feed you dinner. But yellow, knowing that was no way to live, said, no, thank you. And Swatch, who could have scooped it up anyway, said, okay. Given that small but kindly allowance, Oh, it grew and yawned and stretched and twirled and bloomed and whirled and leaked and swirled and spreading and billowing and twisting up, up, up. It sprouted ears and pointy teeth. It was as big as a house. And roar went the yellowest yellow. Swatch felt small. Her jar seemed silly. She had forgotten colors were wild. And so she shut her eyes and prepared to be eaten. Then Swatch heard something sweet and warbling, like a fleet of canaries. She smelled something warm and buttery, like breakfast. Then something swirled against her knee, purring and soft, and just like home. So she opened her eyes. She stretched out her hand, and stretching from her tiptoes, she found she could indeed touch Yellow. Hold on, Yellow said, and it pulled her up, up, up. High over the rooftop, she called her colors by name, and they all came to her. And they flew and flew. So this delightful book is in the library too, and I think it was so wonderful to read to you. Goodbye.